How you living, Guardians? Unseen Inquisitor here. The Summer Solstice event is in full swing, and as the date stamp of this video going on the channel, you have roughly 2 weeks of time left for the event. So, how's it feeling? Feel free to pull up a chair, hang out, and share your thoughts in the comment section down below and be part of the conversation. This event, I think, feels pretty good. We have the European aerial zone back, and kind of a traditional summer solstice thing nowadays, right? Kind of a traditional event location to go to, and that's enjoyable. You're able to slay out pretty good, make good progress there with the bonfire stoking and everything else. The triumphs for getting the title for this solstice event is not particularly grindy necessarily. You have to do stuff, of course, and you have to do some repetition, which you could say in the most basic form of the definition of a grind in a game is a grind. But as far as like what an actual grind is in this game, the Solstice triumphs for the title really aren't that. And I appreciate that. This is meant to be a fun, diversionary event, more or less, right? Give you a little bit something extra to do in the game. And as Ava Levante would say, in the game, it's meant to be a joy, right? It's a fun diversionary tactic in the game itself to help you feel encouraged to log in if you so desire to do that and play. But it's not meant to kind of lock you down in a chore type concept of grind. And some of the earlier incarnations of the Summer Solstice event were a little grindy. So the fact that this one very much is not, I think is in a good ratio of time spent doing the triumphs to get the versus getting the title for it, or to get the title for it. I think it's a good ratio. What I mean by that is there are things you have to do multiple times, yes, but the progress you make towards pretty much most all of these triumphs is, I'm not going to say generous, because that would make it sound like it's too easy, perhaps, is the way that could be spun, but I think it's very fair. And with that said, there's really only one triumph that's going to be a nuisance for you, unless you really don't like Crucible and Gambit. But usually somebody has a pick your poison there. I happen to like Gambit, but and not Crucible, so the fact that they're both options to do the competitive triumph is, I think, a good thing. But outside of that, the only triumph for the title that I think really is going to be a problem is the Neptune one, only because it's bugged. Just like a similar triumph was bugged last time this was around. I don't know why Bungie can't just get it right. And if that sounds harsh, it's not. This isn't something that's trying to just be harsh or anything like that, but really, it's, you built this setup. How can you not get it right? But in any case, things do count. It's not like nothing counts, right? So you can complete it. It's just that to do activities on Neptune, you would think things like terminal overload or whatever else might count, and they're not. But what I know is counting, and I don't know when or if this is going to get fixed, it could take a little bit, is the VexNet Strike. When you load in directly from Neptune's map, that gives you 30% progression for completing it. And while yes, that means you have to do it 4 times, the amount of people doing this, because it's a guaranteed way to make progress that we know works, is a decent player base pool, right? So chances are you'll load in to a match-made strike here with people blowing through this strike for the same reasons you're here, and at least it'll go somewhat quickly. But outside of that, I think the triumphs are handled well, and to get your title, if that's what you're after, shouldn't really be that big of a problem, even if you have limited gaming time amongst the time left in the event. The rewards, the new weapon being a Strand rocket launcher, the first Strand rocket launcher, is cool. It looks very cool. I'm just not really caring about it too much as a rocket launcher, not because I think it's bad. It has some interesting perks. I have rocket launchers for what I need them for, which is really for just boss damage and high chunky target health damage. And I'm not saying this can't do that. I'm not that concerned for it. I have a roll I got that seems okay, and I put it in the vault for a collecting sake. And if I happen to get other rolls that seem better, then I can replace it. But I'm not really hunting for like the roll of this rocket launcher, because as rocket launchers go, I have what I need, if that makes any sense. The armor, I think the model of the armor looks cool across the classes. What's got people stirred up is the fact that the glow is very minimalistic, and some people think it's a lame sauce. So I happen to like a refined, minimalistic glow. I understand why people were hoping for more of an outrageous glow like seasons past, right? Or Solstice's past, which is summer and a season, so it works. But in any case, I get it. Those glows are kind of outrageous, and people really dig that for some of their fashion sense concept. That's really the only reason they're talking about this. The armor is fine otherwise. It can be a little hard to tell there's a glow there, sure, depending upon your shader choice, but overall I think the armor does look good. The helmets are my least favorite aspect of them, but they do look good, and I think the glow being minimalistic I actually prefer in this case, because it lets you see the armor better, it lets you see the shader that it takes better and everything else, and I like that, but I also understand why people are annoyed that it doesn't have a crazy glow, and that's just, I think, personal preference at that point, but the armor itself is fine. With that said, one last thing I'll touch upon is post Solstice Triumph completion. Let's say you get the Triumph and you gild it. What is left for you? Well, that's up to you, right? The game isn't trying to make something for you to do outside of completing its event. But what people are finding is getting the Silver Ash and getting the armor pieces, they are able to really kind of help their builds out stat-wise towards that triple 100 goal. And this could be a very accessible thing for players who aren't able to get Artifice armor easily or anything like that. So there is that to consider as well if you're looking for what else to do with the event being active. In any case, I think overall the event is done well. The ratio of time spent to get your triumphs on and everything else, I think, for the title is a good ratio between time spent doing that versus grinding, quote unquote, or whatever the case is. And as a just diversionary event that's meant to be here for just the pure fun of it, I think it's doing a good job. All you need to do is put on a piece of the armor, do stuff you would normally do, jump into the EAZ for some fun, and you're making progress and you're doing things. So that's cool. In any case, share your thoughts for this summer Solstice event. It's not meant to blow you away. It's not some crazy thing. It's not a new season. It's not a new story arc or a campaign. It's just a fun, diversionary event. And I think some people that I've seen out there on the interwebs are forgetting that, and I think that's unfortunate. But in any case, fun times. Share your thoughts. Thanks so much for tuning in and stopping by, and until next time, stay frosty.